Have you ever struggled with the tedious process of manually drawing trend lines? Trying to identify key resistance and support levels, breakouts, and trendline breaks can be a challenge that can leave you feeling overwhelmed, especially as a beginner. Introducing the Trendline Pivot. This cutting-edge indicator automates the entire process, ensuring your trend lines are consistently accurate, all the while saving you precious time and enhancing your overview of both the overall market and current trends. Not only does it effortlessly identify and create trend lines for you, but it also notifies you when price levels breach those trend lines, giving you clear indications when to get in. Okay, so the first thing that you really need to do right now is head over to the Indicators tab and search for the Trendline Pivot Indicator. And as you can see, it connects the pivot highs and the pivot lows so that you will get an understanding on where price is heading, and it gives you clear-cut signs on where the trend is going, making it easier for you to make confident and profitable trading decisions. Okay, so how do we actually go about using this indicator? Let's get into it. So the first thing that you need to understand is that the green line or the red line indicates the active and the current trend, while a dashed line indicates that price is creating a drawback or a counter trend. Just as you can see, as long as price is heading in the same direction, the indicator will automatically create and draw a trend line according to the current trend. But if price is starting to head in a different direction or just creating a small counter trend, for example, then, as you can see, the indicator will now draw a dashed line, indicating that this is not the new trend, but just a drawback or a counter trend as said. Okay, so if we are going in for a scalp on this particular setup, there are 3 rules that we need to follow. Number 1. In order to get into a long position, the trend line indicator must be green. Number 2, the green line must create a continuous line to the upside in order for us to take this trade. Number 3, the indicator must also create an X, indicating that previous trend is now breached and we are now heading to the upside. Number 4, so in order for us to get into this trade, price must close above previous highs. If price doesn't close above previous highs, wait until it does or wait for another setup. If your particular setup isn't following the rules of this strategy, don't take the trade. And before we go into any trade, we must always implement good risk to reward. So, when it comes to stop loss and take profit, put your stop loss right below that previous drawback to the green trend line, just like this. And for take profit, I suggest that you always aim for at least 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, and higher. Okay, so for example, number 2, we are now going to use this strategy on a short position. And just as previous example, we are now going to do the exact same thing as before, but now on a downwards trend. And as you can see, the indicator has now created a red line to the downside, which means that rule number 1 of this strategy is being followed. And as we let price play out, we can also see that the indicator is not only red, but has created that continuous red trend line to the downside. Rule number 2. Check. And as price continues a little bit further, we can now see that the smaller counter trend right over here now has been breached, and the indicator has now created that dashed line that we were talking about before. Other than that, the indicator has now also given us that X that gives us another confluence that previous upwards trend has now been broken and we are heading to the downside. Rule number 3, check. We can now see that price has closed below that previous high right over here. And that indicates that we are now safe to get into this trade. Rule number 4, check. And now it's time for us to put our stop loss and take profit in action. So what we do right here is that we put our stop loss just above that red trend line right over here. And when it comes to take profit, we always aim for a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 or higher, just like I told you in example number 1. But for this example, we're going to target this area right here. And this is because we know that price has already touched this area before. Okay guys, so that is actually it for today. And if you like this video and you found it useful, please smash that subscribe button down below. And also, when you have tried this indicator out, please leave a comment with your results in the comment section. That will really help the channel grow, and also it will help your fellow traders to grow as well. Until next time guys, take care.